Welcome to Day 16, How to Use Data Analytics, the roadmap to future sales and profits. The Retail Solve Blueprint to teach you everything you need to know to confidently grow and scale your brand, build a connected community of loyal evangelists, and multiply your brand's impact, sales, and profits. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is Dan Lohman. I've had the privilege of mentoring and working with hundreds of brands, from pre-revenue to multi-billion dollars in sales. This is a culmination of the best strategies that are working today. I've spent years testing and perfecting them to save you valuable time and money while giving you the edge that you deserve. If you haven't done so yet, download the free 30-Day to Prosperity Workbook at retailsolve.com/30-day workbook to help you get the most out of this brand building series. And go back and listen to all the episodes in this masterclass so that you don't miss a thing. The strategies build upon each other in the order of the series. Please share these and help me raise the bar in natural. I want to take a moment to recap the last episode, how to become a trusted and respected retail partner, a category leader. In that episode, we talked about the importance of developing strategic relationships or alliances with key retailers, where you have the greatest opportunity to grow and scale your brand. This is contrary to the traditional strategy where you just try to get distribution wherever possible, whether it makes sense or not. As I illustrated in the last episode, this is one of the biggest reasons why over 80% of brands fail within the first year. I'm committed to change that. This is largely because most brands in the natural channel are not taught the advice and strategies we're talking about here. This is why it's so critically important to your long-term success and how using these strategies will give you the edge that you deserve. You've worked hard to create a product that will revolutionize the category and disrupt the way people think about healthy eating. Now we need to give you every opportunity to succeed, grow, and thrive. That begins with giving you the business strategies that you won't learn anywhere else. Remember in a previous episode, I shared that things in natural today are the same way that they were in mainstream about 30 years ago. We had the same logistical and merchandising challenges small retailers have today. Big brands used the same strategies and the same tactics in the 80s that the natural brands use today. Category management was born out of a need to give brands the advanced strategies to help them avoid wasted spending, reduce logistical constraints, better manage inventories with just-in-time inventory, more effectively align products with customers that buy them, and help the retail partner succeed. Sound familiar? This is the exact same thing we're discussing throughout the series. The only key difference is that I'm helping you leverage what makes natural so that we're keeping true to the customer that buys your product. We're focusing on how to align your brand and your strategy with that customer, rather than focus on the generic top-line strategies that most brands use. The big brands are not smarter, they just learn from the mistakes that they've made. The Achilles heel for big brands is that they've gotten lazy and they rely more on commoditized solutions in what I call push-button category management. My success throughout my career is attributed to my ability to creatively use the strategies that we're talking about here. These are the strategies that will differentiate you from your competitors, including the most sophisticated brands in your category. Today's topic is how to use data analytics, the roadmap to future sales and profits. This is one of the most overlooked subjects across all of CPG. Sadly, most people are not trained on how to use data to tell an effective story. I've seen this throughout my career, especially with big brands. Being an effective storyteller is a skill that's not taught anywhere. This is exactly why I created the Turnkey Sales Story Strategies course. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people that talk about how a story can be beneficial, but fact-based selling, which is the essence of category management, is a form of advanced storytelling, the key skill most brands struggle with. Let me explain. When I started my career, selling was based on relationships. Relationship selling is exactly what the natural channel relies on today. Relationship selling is a lot easier, especially when the retailer likes you. Think of how many times you've competed against another brand, and they got the business because the retailer liked them or liked their brand more. Relationship selling includes giving the retailers what they want in terms of promotional support, slotting, etc. This is why retail is pay to play. It doesn't take a lot of creativity to gain incremental distribution or build sales with deep promotions when they are tied to your checkbook. The problem is that those strategies are not sustainable for small brands. Those strategies also tend to dilute the retailer's ability to compete in the market. A big feature of relationship-based selling in the 80s and 90s was giving incentives or rewards to retailers for selling your product. I was encouraged to take retailers to lunch, to take them to sporting events, to play golf with them, in addition to offering other incentives to sell our products. I frequently felt like we were bribing retailers to sell our products. I remember working a lot of trade shows where retailers would buy 3 or 4 shippers from me to get a prize, like branded golf balls, and expensive golf clubs, tickets to sporting events, and much more. Thankfully, most retailers shut that process down, demanding that brands use those promotional dollars to drive additional sales for the retailer. This is also why trade promotion spending has become a profit center for retailers and distributors. We'll go more into depth in that in future episodes in this series. This is where fact-based selling replaced relationship selling with larger retailers and brands. This is when category management was born. This is where data analytics comes in. As I mentioned, every brand struggles with telling effective stories using data analytics. This is true across every channel. There's an art and a science to telling an effective story with fact-based insights. This is the focus of all my content. In fairness, this is something I struggled with early in my career. Sometimes while looking for that elusive golden nugget to support my hunch, I would go down rabbit holes where I would get lost for hours looking for something that wasn't there. Sound familiar? These wild goose chases is called analysis paralysis. It's something that every effective category manager has to work through. This is where you learn how to look at data and how to leverage it to tell an effective story. Now, I can look at data and quickly ascertain the story to support whatever initiative I'm working on. Again, it took a long time to become proficient in that skill. Like every skill, you improve the more you practice. Know that everyone struggles with it, and you're not alone. Realize that all the top, most talented athletes all begin as novices. Let me give you an example. You're taught that all you need is canned top-line reports, and that velocity and margin are the key metrics that every retailer is focused on. There's effectively no real story there other than how your brand ranks. Those metrics are dictated largely by how much money a brand spends to support their sales. You've heard me say time and time again that brands with deep pockets can buy volume and therefore look more attractive on a ranking report. A traditional ranking report does not evaluate the health of your brand or the health of the category. On the contrary, promoted brands commoditize their categories and pull profitable dollars from the retailer. This is why understanding data analytics is so critically important. Now, in full transparency, my reputation was built on creating canned top-line reports for brands and retailers, including some of the templated reports that retailers require of all category reviews. I also created canned reports for spends, including their distribution tracker. Those reports were a starting place when trying to assess the category for your brand. They make it easy for retailers and brands to compare categories, but they frequently overlook the key category growth drivers. This is where you can differentiate yourself from the other brands and gain a huge edge. The magic of category management or fact-based selling is where you go deeper into the data to find the story that others overlook. My boss once told me to look for why what happened happened. Focusing on this helps me appreciate and understand how to use the data more effectively. I recommend that you use that as well. Your ability to effectively use data analytics can help you chart the roadmap to successfully grow and scale your brand. It can give you a significant and sustainable competitive advantage, and much, much more. Make a commitment to learning these skills. These skills are transferable across all categories and all channels. This is how you build a healthy foundation for your brand to grow and thrive. To help you become a more efficient brand builder and storyteller, and to help you maximize your data analytics, I have created a robust library of resources, many of which are free. They include interviews by leading industry experts, webinar replays, guides, courses, articles, tools, videos, and the podcast. The mini courses are designed to teach you one simple skill that you can instantly adopt and make your own. A skill that you can leverage with every SKU and every retailer. For example, how to assess the health of your brand gives you a deep dive into what we're talking about here. Creative strategies to give your brand the edge that it deserves. Something that every brand should know that's not taught anywhere else. The mini courses are short, teaching you one quick, easy to digest strategy to give you a quick win with a single item and a single retailer. Then multiply that times every retailer and every item you sell. These are the foundational skills that I've used to push around some of the largest, most iconic brands on the planet. While I've shared a little bit about them on the podcast and on the 30 Day to Prosperity series, I show you step by step specifically what you need to know to effectively execute and leverage your new skills at retail in the courses. Let me be your Sherpa. Let me help guide you to give you an equal seat at the retailer's table with the big brands and give you the edge that you deserve. Get a quick overview of the brand building courses, many of which are free, by downloading the free course overview at retailsolve.com/brand school. You can learn more about the courses by going to my website or by going to retailsolve.com/courses. For additional inspiration, listen to podcast episode Secrets 54 with Mathis Martinez. He was a former category manager for Kroger. What retailers really want, inside secrets to getting on shelf. This is one of the most popular podcast episodes. Mathis is a wealth of information, and on this podcast episode, we talk about exactly what Kroger expects from brands, and we talk about ways that you can differentiate yourself from other brands and help you stand out on a crowded shelf. This is exactly what we've been talking about through this entire series. In this podcast episode, Mathis validates the strategies and tells you exactly how to use them so that you can work with any retailer. Secrets 54 of Mathis Martinez, formerly with Kroger, what retailers really want, insider secrets to getting on shelf. Next, I recommend you listen to Secrets 92 with Dave Benzaquin with Plant-Based Solutions and Ocean Hugger Foods. What's behind the hottest trend in retail? Plant-based products are the hottest trend in retail. However, retailers don't know how to merchandise them and how to effectively make them easier for your customers to find and buy. This is where your data analytics are so critically important. More importantly, none of the databases accurately code the data the way your customer shops. This is something we talk about on this podcast episode, along with strategies to help you get around this. These strategies work across all product niches as well. Secrets 92 with Dave Benzaquin. What's behind the hottest trend in retail? Next, I recommend you listen to Secrets 35 with Chuck Muth with Beyond Meat. Sales extend beyond retailer shelves. In this episode, we talk about how Beyond Meat uses the best strategies that mainstream brands rely on to dominate their category. This podcast episode validates exactly what we've been talking about here, and the power of data analytics and fact-based selling, and knowing the importance of your core customer. Secrets 35 with Chuck Muth with Beyond Meat. Sales extend beyond retailer shelves. Next, I recommend you listen to Secrets 199, How to Keep Your Brand Alive Today, Tomorrow, and What Comes Next with Andrew Therian. This actually is a recording from one of the free webinars. Andrew is one of the most brilliant sales managers in the industry. His insights will teach you exactly what you need to know and how to partner with retailers to remain relevant and keep customers coming back again and again. Andrew shares his unique perspective from working with hundreds of brands across all categories and all retailers. Andrew's insights are priceless, and they'll give you the edge that you deserve. Secrets 199, How to Keep Your Brand Alive Today, Tomorrow, and What Comes Next with Andrew. Tip of the day. Knowledge is power, especially in this industry. If you want to compete at a higher level, then you need to adopt the advanced strategies that the big brands rely on. This is how you level the playing field and give you the edge that you deserve. I recorded the video, which has illustrations and additional information that I can't share in an audio podcast. You can watch the accompanying video on the podcast webpage, and you can get there by going to brandsecretsandstrategies.com/session242. In tomorrow's show, we'll talk about how to use fact-based selling to give your brand a sustainable edge. This episode will build upon today's conversation. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next show.